I thought we had a precedent. I thought we all understood what just doing my job meant. Until, while it was convenient, while we could stay home from the safety of our couches and point at the World War II documentaries, right? Go, oh my God, how could that be? Oh, yeah, you don't have to risk anything. Most people are little bitches and they fold immediately. And how many people, raise your hands, knew someone that swore up and down, oh, I'm never doing it, no way, I'm not doing it. And then they came into work Monday and said, yeah, I did it over the weekend. I go, it's just easier, man. Look, they surrendered. They surrendered. Look at the hands going up, yeah? They betrayed you. They chose themselves because it was too hard. It's too hard. So essentially, they left the foxhole and walked over to enemy lines and surrendered. And now they're on the other team. Isn't that nice? It's like betray your family or face the firing squad. And I go, well, firing squad then. What, really? Yeah, really. None of these people actually care about anyone else. They never did. And when push comes to shove, they'll throw everybody under the bus. Right now. These are our frontline healthcare workers. They're our heroes. Unless they don't do what the COVID says, then they should die. They should lose their jobs and starve and die. You can see the comments all over Twitter and Facebook and everything, what people think of people that do this. These are the healthcare workers that sat there and worked with these people for 2 years, almost, with no vaccines. They're fine, and now their jobs are at stake. Now they're losing their jobs. Does that make sense to anyone? It should if your brain still works. And to all these people out there that are quitting, essentially. Not their jobs, but on their souls, on their friends, on their resolve is not infinite. They caved, So I'll say this. If you're one of the people that got the vaccine and did all this stuff initially because you believe the television and the science or whatever, and you thought, hey, this is the best way to protect myself, and I don't want to get sick with the virus and all that. If that's what you really believe, that's fine. I'm not gonna, not gonna say there's anything wrong with that. You're allowed to think whatever you want. I don't control your mind. I'm not trying to. I'm not CBC. I'm not the Liberal Party of Canada. However, if you're someone that has recently decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna get it because it's easier, because you felt manipulated, because you felt pressured, intimidated into doing it, that's abuse. That's an abusive relationship, and you're enabling this nightmare on other people. Whatever, it's easier. I want to travel. I want to go to a Foo Fighters concert. Those are excuses for you to not have to do this anymore. You're looking for a way out. And you just walked out of the foxhole, you put your rifle down, you walked across the enemy lines with your hands up, and you surrendered, and you left your friends behind to die. That's what you did. Because you didn't do this for your health. You didn't do this because you were you were worried about getting sick. You didn't do it because you believe the science. You just did it now. You had to be pressured. Do you understand? Why didn't you get a vaccine 8 months ago when they were first offered to people? 6 months ago, the summer. Why now? Why'd you do it now in September, months and months later? Because you got pressured. Because they threatened they would take your job away. Someone threatened to take your job away. So you said, okay, daddy, don't hurt me. You're enabling this, and you've weakened the collective resistance by doing that. So anybody that's on the fence, I want you to really seriously think about that. If you're like, man, and I hear about them all the time. People are like, man, I'm thinking about it, and it takes courage to say that to me, especially of all people, to go, I learned this the hard way through the army when obviously we had a lot of suicide problems. If someone even hints at it, if they even say a little bit, hint at feeling or thinking like that, what they're really thinking and feeling is 10 times worse than what they're saying to you. So if they say in passing, yeah, maybe I should just get it, that's a cry for help. They're seriously contemplating it and they're very torn. Do not do it. Because you already know you're doing something you don't believe in, and you know what? What's going to happen to you in a year, in 6 months? Well, if you don't have an adverse reaction, But when you see what happens to the rest of us that say no, and you're sitting there watching from your television as the police are rounding up women and children and so on, and you could have been there to help protect these people, but you're sitting there happily on your fucking couch, fat and happy with your vaccine passport. Which part of the basement stairs are you going to swing from at that stage? Can you live with that? I couldn't. I literally couldn't. That's why I can't do it. I know better. If that is 100% going to happen. Are you kidding? Of course it is. Because the vaccine passports were never going to happen. The extra lockdowns were never going to happen. None of it was ever going to happen. The gun ban was never going to happen. None of it was ever going to happen, and yet it keeps happening. Isn't that interesting? It's all going to happen, unfortunately.